Firstly, I think they all deserve another round of applause, don't they? Well done. Oh, you can all relax now, because it's my turn to be nervous now. Before they came out, Christopher said, now don't forget, be good, because your mums and dads are out there. Well, my mum and dad's out there as well. But, no, well, it seems official, doesn't it? It seems Christmas is on its way. I work in Morrison's on the checkouts, and it seems people have already started getting that glazed look and panic, and there's never going to be any food left. And but no, I really enjoy this time of year, but there's a lot to think about other than food and parties and things, isn't there? So I hope this morning, through food, to remind you of the real reason for Christmas. And you know, we've probably, a lot of us have got advent calendars counting down to the big day. And so I don't know if some of you watch the programme Countdown. I know Mum does. But on there's anagrams, isn't there? Anagrams of jumbled up words. Well, I've got anagrams of jumbled up food today. But they'll hopefully help us tell the Christmas story. Now, the first one, it's a type of crisp. So who can unjumble those words? Just shout it. Yeah. Hula hoops, that's right. Well done. Got some prizes as well. If I can get into them. I might need some scissors. I'll give you a sweet later. Yeah, have you got tar? Right, well that's right. We got hula hoops, haven't we? Yeah. Do some of you like hula hoops? I also thought of another food that reminded me of this, party rings. Now, hula hoops and party rings reminds me of somebody in the Christmas story. Somebody who had a ring on, and a couple that were waiting to be married. Who can any of it? Mary, yeah, that's right. Mary, and well, Joseph was invited as well, wasn't he? So Mary and Joseph, they had, well, Mary would have a ring on, and they were waiting to be married. Now, most of you who know me will know that waiting to be married is a situation that I'm quite familiar with. But yeah, like any bride, I'm sure that Mary would be counting down the days to her wedding day. Joseph might well have been as well, but I know from the bride's side that you're counting down. I'm sure Ruth will know as well. You're counting down to your wedding day. But then we saw from the sketch, and we read in the Bible, that an angel came and dropped a bombshell. You know, Mary's life would be changed forever, wouldn't it? You know, but the more I thought about it, I thought, that's maybe what happens when you let Jesus in. The things that we think are impossible are made possible. We just have to be like Mary. Like Mary said, I'm the servant of the Lord. May it be to me as you have said. And that's what we've got to be. We've got to be willing, like Mary, just to let God use us and have his way in our lives, even though what we think he's asking us to do is impossible. Through us, he'll make it possible. Now, the second word. This is a pudding. Let's see if I've still got my netball skills. Oh, have you had? Oh, I see I had one. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Netball skills.
Yeah. Well, I nearly got the window. Have you given it this? Ah, right. We're all fed and watered then. So this is a pudding, a quick pudding that you can soon have put together. Can anybody? Angel Delight. Yeah, who was it that said that? Was it? Oh. Do you like Angel Delight? No? There you are. That's right. Well, I haven't actually made the Angel Delight up, but there we have Angel Delight. And maybe you like these better, do you? Angel cake bars. So we got Angel Delight and Angel cake bars. So it's looking all right for the dinner after. But who can tell me in the story that in the play that you did, apart from Mary and Joseph, who else had a visit from an angel, or angels? Yeah, they're shepherds. That's right. That's right. Now, the shepherds, that's what the angels reminded me of. And just like Mary, these shepherds were getting on with their daily work, and then they had a visit from an angel as well. And again, that made me think God uses ordinary people doing their ordinary day-to-day work to spread his word and to bring glory to himself. You know, at this time, the shepherds had a bit of a reputation maybe for being a bit tough and rough and ready. Of course, they're not the same today. And, you know, they maybe weren't the most trustworthy of people. But we read that these rough, tough men were scared of this angel. But the angel said to them, "Don't be afraid. I'll bring you good news." A bit of angel delight, if you like. And these shepherds were the first people that God chose to tell about the birth of his son. He didn't tell them exactly where to go, but the shepherds would have a good idea of where to find a manger. And it says that they made haste and went in haste to find it. And when they had seen Jesus, they made it widely known what they had seen and what they'd been told. And everyone marvelled at what they said. But Mary, it says, Mary kept all these things and pondered them in her heart. You know, and I just wonder what Mary might have been thinking. You know, maybe she was just trying to store them up and make sense of what was going on. Maybe she was trying to remember them all to tell Jesus about when he got older. We don't know, but the next thing that we're told is that the shepherds were glorifying and praising God for what they had seen and heard. And like I said before, that probably wasn't the usual behaviour for shepherds at the time. But once again, it just shows that once we met Jesus, our lives and our behaviour are changed forever. Now, the next one. This is a chocolate bar that you might like. Who hasn't? Milky Way, well done. You want to choose one? You can all have one after, but there. So we have a Milky Way, and also on the shelves I saw a Star Bar. Now, who in the Christmas story that you've just told us was looking maybe at the Milky Way and studying the stars. Who was it? James. Wise men, that's right. That's right. Well, so the wise men, they'd been studying the stars and trying to get it all together to see where this child was going to be born. But even though these were rich and supposedly well-educated, wise men, it seems that they had more trouble finding Jesus than the shepherds did because they ended up at Herod's palace rather than in the stable. You know, even though God had provided them with quite a good sat-nav in the sky, they ended up in the wrong place. And, you know, maybe it's because they were so rich and intelligent, they were maybe relying on their own resources and their own intelligence. You know, of course, to them, a king would be born in a palace, not in a stable. But again, God's wisdom is above our own, and his plans don't always go along with ours because we can't see the big picture, but God can. And the wise men did eventually get to the right place, and then they came in, and it says they bowed down and worshipped Jesus. And that reminded me that even one day, even the wisest, the most intelligent, the most important of people are going to have to bow the knee to Jesus and acknowledge him as king. And then the wise men were warned in a dream not to go back to Herod, as he'd asked them to, but to go home via a different route. And again, that made me think, you know, no matter how many wrong turns we've made in our life before we find Jesus, he'll always give us direction to get back on the right path if we just ask him to. But then there is a warning that when we follow Jesus, he may ask us to take a different route to the one that we had planned for ourselves. But his way will always be the best, and he will always be with us and help us on that journey. So, all right, we've got the final one. This is a bag of sweets, if you like, or a packet of sweets. So, who hasn't answered one? Have you already answered? No. Yeah, well done, Jelly Babies. That's right. So we've got a packet of Jelly Babies. Yeah. There is still some food left in Morrison's, so there. Yeah. So Jelly Babies. Who do you think Jelly Babies made me think of? Who can tell me? In the story it was Jesus, that's right. He was the baby in this story, wasn't he? The baby that came to that stable in Bethlehem. But, you know, as we read and we've seen you tell us this morning that Jesus was born in a stable in Bethlehem because there was no room for them in the inn. And I just wonder this Christmas, how many of us will make room for Jesus? I hope we all do. I hope we all make room for Jesus in our celebrations. But unfortunately, for a lot of people, he might just stay as a baby in the manger, in a nativity scene that's just brought out once a year and then wrapped up and put away until the next year. But, you know, we need to ask the question, I wonder what happened to him. What happened to Jesus after, when he grew up? And, well, when he grew up, he completed his mission that he came to earth to do. He became saviour of mankind, and he willingly gave his life for us on the cross so that we could be brought back into a relationship with God and one day be with him in heaven. And that's the greatest gift that we could be given this Christmas. And it's a gift that's not going to just last for a few days. It's going to last the whole year through and our life through. If we keep looking to Jesus and asking him what we should do, then he will direct our lives and he'll give us the best life that we could ever have. And this Christmas, I think that's well worth celebrating, and that's what we celebrate at Christmas, that Christ came to give us that life and life to the full. Amen. Now, I think, are we going to sing a song again?